All right, now here is part two of my interview with former President Trump at Mar-a-Lago. We discuss Biden's weakness on the world stage and the danger and the alliance between China and Russia and how real it is. Take a look. I will tell you, in my view, that this is worse and far worse. Let's look at, for example, President Xi. Let's look at Vladimir Putin. They meet, they discuss their great friendship and how they have an opportunity that the world has not seen in 100 years. China brokers a deal with Iran and Saudi Arabia. They're about to broker another deal with Saudi Arabia and Syria. Then we watched the China spy balloon incident, to go down over the skies of Alaska, down the west coast of Canada, Idaho, over our missile silos in Montana, Missouri, Kansas, Kentucky, out the Carolinas. Then we shoot it down. Then we see Russia take down one of our drones. I would argue there is emerging in real time in this world as we speak a new axis of evil, and it is ambition, territorial ambition. We see it, for example, Belarus is supposed to now be taking on nuclear weapons from Putin. Okay, they're aligned. How far does his territorial ambitions go?
That'll be next, by the way.
Okay,
nuclear weapons, that'll be next.
China, Russia, Iran, the Saudis have left the coalition that you had put together. And then you have your buddy, Little Rocket Man, back in action. Now that, to me, would be a powerful axis of evil. Why is that happening? And what would you have done with the balloon? And what would you have done if Putin took down one of your drones?
I wouldn't have done anything with the balloon because it wouldn't have happened under me. Wouldn't have happened. They wouldn't have sent the balloon.
If it
This is a big balloon. This is a balloon where you can see it from,
it's like 3 buses.
75,000 feet away. People are looking, but it's strange. They see it up there.
We only found out because of a guy in Montana.
They wouldn't have done it. I'm just telling you. Just like Putin would have never gone into Ukraine. I used to talk to him about it. I said, better not do it. Better not do it. And he wouldn't have done it. We had a very friendly conversation about it. I said, hey, Vladimir, you and I get along good. You can't go into Ukraine.
Why you say it with such conviction? Why, if you were president, would they not have done this?
Because he knew not to mess around with me.
Did they fear you?
I don't want to say that. You know why? Because you'd say, oh, I don't like people to say, oh, they fear me like a schmuck. I don't want to say it. But did they fear me? I suspect they did. And you know what? Putin, I ended his pipeline. You never heard of Nord Stream 2 until I came along. I started speaking about Nord Stream 2. Nord Stream 2 is their pipeline. The biggest pipeline in the world. They're building it to Germany. I gave Germany the white flag of surrender. I sent it to Angela. I said, Angela,
the great story.
I have a white flag of surrender. But why? Why? Because you've fought historically lots of wars with Russia. And now they're going to supply 80% of your energy. I said, Angela, are you crazy? Are you crazy? She also let millions of people into her country, which has, perhaps permanently screwed up her country. But look at this. So I sent her the flag. Little did anyone know. Remember I made the speech at the United Nations and the German delegation was smiling and laughing. They thought it was so funny when I said Germany should not have made a deal with Russia on Nord Stream 2, on a pipeline supplying their energy. And these guys were all laughing. They're not laughing anymore. Those guys got fired for being stupid. And it was just common sense that you can't do that. Germany can't do that. They made that deal, Sean. It was absolutely one of the dumbest deals. But that's when Putin said, boy, you're killing me. And then they go, and I gave them javelins, by the way. You know the javelins that wiped out all the tanks? Obama gave them sheets, and I gave them javelins. I was the one that gave them javelins. Those javelins knocked out all the tanks. But Putin said to me, man, you're killing me. Especially about Nord Stream, because that was and I stopped it. It was stopped cold. And I told other countries, if you go into the Nord Stream deal, you're not going to do any business with the United States of America, meaning rip us off on trade, because most of them have ripped us off. I made a lot of great trade deals. I changed a lot of those deals where it was a bad deal for us. Now it's a good, like USMCA with NATO. I got rid of NATO and built USMCA. I made a great trade deal with China. Yeah. Our farmers are, to this day, they've made tremendous money because of the deal. But because of COVID, I don't even talk about that deal because that overrode everything. But when you look at what I did, and a lot of it's common sense, Sean. You know, a lot of people say, are you a conservative? Are you this? I said, I'm a person, yeah, I'm conservative, but I'm a person with a lot of common sense, and I also get things done. Putin would have never gone in. Xi would never have gone, and, you know, we don't know yet, but looks like he's getting ready to do something with Taiwan. It wasn't even discussed. Was this even discussed when I was president?
Is there really any doubt about Taiwan? Because I don't really have any doubt.
Well, there was
and I
big
think
doubt
they're
when I was
calculating
president.
that Biden won't lift a finger.
He knew there was going to be massive retaliation, and it was done with the mouth. There was no blood spilled. If I were president, that would have never happened in Russia. Afghanistan, you know, I'm the one that got it down to 2,500 soldiers. The problem they did is they moved the military out before they moved the people out.
So
As you cover better than anybody else, we have a lot of American citizens right now in Afghanistan.
Excuse me, Blinken testified last week, 175, and last week admitted that some of them are hostages for the first time. There's no media on that. Now, that was the first time.
You take the military out last, and they were afraid of our military. I didn't lose one person.
18
Sean,
months.
I didn't lose one person in 18 months. And I had a conversation with Abdul. He was the leader of the Taliban. Everyone, oh, I was criticized so badly by the fake news media. Why are you, you know, Jesse James was a bank robber. He was very good at it. They said, why do you always go rob banks? He said, that's where the money is. They said, why are you talking to Abdul? I said, I'm talking to Abdul because he's the head of the Taliban and they're killing our people. And I said, Abdul, if you kill one more person, we're going to hit you harder than anybody's ever
Joe
been hit.
Biden said to this country he wouldn't leave a single American behind. Tony Blinken testified last week that there were 175 Americans.
More.
And many are hostages. Why did they keep that from us for so long? All right, but I want to move on because I could talk to you about this all day.
Just to finish on Afghanistan,
go ahead.
It was the worst and most embarrassing decision, in my opinion. Not getting out because I wanted to get out. I would have been out before them. It was the most embarrassing, the way they got out. We would have gotten out with strength and dignity, and we would have kept Bagram Air Base, which is the biggest runway, most powerful runways anywhere in the world. And the reason isn't Afghanistan. The reason it was 1 hour away from where China makes its nuclear missiles. So we'd have an air base right next to where China makes, and you know who's occupying it now? China.